Happy Information Wednesday, Chalyce McQueen here. Per my teaser video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to think like an insurance agent, particularly relating to your home and your auto. So first and foremost, when it comes to your auto, let's talk about windshield replacements. So all of you likely have the endorsement on your policy called Safety Glass Waiver of Deductible. What that means is you don't have to pay a deductible for your comprehensive claim, which is what a windshield replacement is. And so some of my customers use this claim or use this coverage religiously. Others never even use it. What I want you to look at your policy and look at the premium, because that glass coverage does cost something. And the reality is, if you happen to use your glass coverage, aka have a comprehensive claim, you are going to be penalized. Maybe not so much with your current carrier, but when it comes to shopping for other coverage, trying to get a better rate, you better believe that every single one of your glass claims in the past 5 years is showing up and reporting. So do yourself a favor, look at what it's costing you, and it might very well make sense just to write the check and have a cash price and forego this safety glass waiver of deductible coverage. If you look at my windshield right now, it looks like it's been shot up. And the reality is, I know the reward versus the consequence of having a claim like that on my record does not make sense. And last time I had my windshield replaced, the next day it had a chip and cracked again. So I'm just gonna let it go. Now, continuing the topic of auto insurance, let's talk about that roadside assistance you have on there as well. The reality is this does nothing for you. It basically is a towing only claim, which also is a comprehensive claim. And so if you have an older vehicle or a vehicle maybe that's not under warranty anymore, you don't have any kind of dealership concierge service, I would definitely get AAA. Obviously, it's going to do far more for you than your current roadside, but also it's going to not count as a comprehensive claim if, God forbid, you need a towing or some other issue related to your vehicle. Now let's switch gears and talk about homeowners policies. So one coverage I want to talk about specifically is called separate structures. If you look at your policy right now, you're going to see it. It's a very common coverage. In fact, it's included. However, your separate structure usually has a coverage amount of 5 or 10% of your total dwelling. Well, for my Lake Havasu peeps in particular, we have a lot of separate structures, detached RV garages, pool houses, pergolas, outdoor living areas, you name it. Well, your standard 5 or 10% coverage is not going to do the trick to reconstruct these separate structures in the event you had a total loss. So the reality is it's important to review your policy. In fact, contact a pro like me, and I will do an overall review and audit and make sure that these separate structures have the adequate limit in the event that you had a total loss. That way you're not having to dip in your pocket and rebuild the RV garage from scratch. Now, considering the conversation of homeowners policies, I talked about deductibles in a previous video. Do not be afraid to carry a higher deductible because versus auto and home, auto you have to manually write that check for your deductible. A home, it comes off the top of your claim. And again, if you're able to get a brand new house for $5,000, you're doing good. And carrying a higher deductible is going to give you immediate gratification and reward year after year by having a much lower premium. It definitely makes sense. Let's talk about those of you who may live in older homes. And by older homes, let's categorize this as 40 or 45 years or older. There are some endorsements that you should definitely consider having on your homeowner's policy and or landlord policy. And one of those is called service line. Service line is the utility line that runs from the street to your house. Well, these are starting to fail. And if that fails, you're going to be out of pocket to pay to have that line repaired or replaced. Because guess what? Your utility company is not. Also, sewer, water, backup, and drains. Well, with these older homes, we have cast iron plumbing, which get eroded, tree roots penetrate, which causes raw sewage and water to back up through your pipes. Guess what? A lot of insurance policies have this as an exclusion, unless you have the endorsement. So it's important to make sure that you're adequately reviewing all your coverage options, again, with a pro. So in the event you have one of these likely circumstances, you're going to be covered and not having to dip out of your pocket to pay to have the issue fixed. As always, hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Again, the whole purpose of these videos is to make you smarter about your insurance. But the reality is you're not an insurance expert. I am. Give me a call. Let me do a complimentary review and audit of your policy and see what opportunities we have to only save money, but also increase your protection. because 86% of you are underinsured and quite frankly, will be in a world of trouble if you happen to have a total loss. You can give me a call at 480-478-0030 or check us out at Got Protection AZ. Remember to ask yourself, are you protected? We'll see you next week.